Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Estancia Lapacho. I love this place. I absolutely love this map. It is fantastic. So you may have noticed that the last episode I did, I originally planned to release it at the same time as the time-lapse I did on this map yesterday. And that didn't actually happen. I ended up releasing it this morning because I released an extra video yesterday looking at the Horsch DLC. So because of that, things were a little bit disjointed on it. I am still going to go with my original plan of using this week to video me setting up the map, because as we're sort of planning to do quite a few different things on the map beforehand and getting ready before we sort of go into, we're not going into starting farming, we're going into a farm that is already well established, and so we need to kind of get quite a few things ready. We've got these two fields here and one down here. I'm going to be buying some more fields. I suspect that we won't buy those two there, but we will buy most of this block around here. I'm thinking, my personal inclination is to buy all of these fields here in this block. So sort of around this side, inside of the road here. Everything inside of the road here, plus those two longer fields there. Leave these two over here, and we'll also leave those there. But we'll also, because we have the pigs up there, I am wondering if we should buy field 26 at the same time. I'm not going to buy any of them yet though, because I'm going to wait until we've finished planting the sugarcane, because I want this field to be established with sugarcane. So we're going to plant sugarcane right across this whole field, and then when we're done, we will then fast forward time until the sugarcane is fully established, and that's going to be one of the things that we do on here. So this week we're just kind of playing around, we're making sure that this one is carrying on. I won't be buying the fields until after we've done the fast forward, so that we don't have any excess crops anywhere. I don't want... Actually, I am wondering... No, we won't do that, because when we come to it, our first job, obviously, this week you're getting to look at the sugarcane planters. Now, we will do realistic sugarcane planting next week, so we'll use this setup here. I will probably sell the case and the small sugarcane planter, but I'm not sure yet. I haven't quite decided. As for the fields of crops, if we're going to be buying all of these fields and then fast forwarding, we'd have a load of crops all needing to be harvested all at the same time. I don't want to do that, because a lot of you did state that you want me to do sugarcane first. So sugarcane harvesting and so on, that is going to be the first thing that we do. And in order to be able to do that, I want to buy these fields after the crops are done with. So I don't want to be getting them just yet, which means that we need to fast forward them a little bit, and then after they're done, then we can harvest them. We're going to have a field down here that will need doing, but we're not going to worry about that today. So I've got a few other items that are ready. I did actually forget to activate the... I love the fact it's got a little lump all the way along the top there. Just a little bump, bit of uneven ground. I'm going to jump down to the... There we go. I've got this tract here is the second Stara. I just showed you yesterday very briefly what the plough could do with the foliage texture. I absolutely love that about this map. It is amazing. It's a truly, truly wonderful thing that we can now plough up these small shrubs and stuff. I don't know how they've done it. Whether it's an extra foliage layer in there, I'm not really sure. But however it's been done, I imagine it's quite good news, because whatever's been used to do that, people who make maps will, I'm hoping, be able to use it in future maps. So we'll see that a lot more. I'm really hoping that we can see a lot more of that in the future. So I don't think we have another plough anywhere, so I might just keep this plough as one of the machines that we use on our farm. And we can have a second Stara tractor as well. So we'll keep that one just there for a minute. We've got this sprayer. I did actually, I think, forget to activate the other one. I do have the Massey... Oh, yeah, I've got the Massey Ferguson one as well. I forgot to actually activate that one. We've got the Horsch one that I showed you in the Horsch DLC yesterday. We've got the Stara one here. I'm actually thinking that for this series we will use this Stara Imperador 3.0. So we're going to drive that one back to the farm. Actually, we don't need to drive it back to the farm. We can just teleport it back to the farm. But yes, and I'm going to teleport it out to a field first, so that we can take a look at whether or not it does actually have the thing that I'm after on it. So let's just jump it to the middle of this field a second. And we can unfold. So those of you who really hate the unrealistic gameplay, I'm not doing like everything unrealistic on here. I'm just getting everything. This is how I set up a map. I will get the teleport mod so that I can jump stuff around the map to wherever I need it to be. We generate in some money. We can fast forward time. The creator tools allow for all kinds of things like that as well. It's absolutely brilliant. And it allows you to sort of speed things up a bit. So there's a lot of things that would otherwise take a lot longer. We can speed them right up using the creator tools and things like that. Now, we do have the ground response mod active, and that does make this very, very bouncy. What I don't know is, can you, if I do, well, that I can move that one up and down like that. So we can do a little dance here, like this. And I can open the cover as well. That one. And also opening and closing the cover is the same as lifting and lowering the bar by the look of it. J, that would be, and N. So yes, we've got that one there, which means that this Stara does actually take solid fertilizer, which it will then spin on the back there, or it takes liquid fertilizer. So you've got a choice of both, and I really like that. It's fantastic we've got that option on this one. So we've got solid fertilizer. You press Y to go fertilizer, and you can change which one that you want. So it's currently folding up the boom. I don't want it to do that. So that it go liquid fertilizer there, or it will do solid fertilizer. If you switch over, it will actually do that. But what I don't think it does is I don't think it's got an option for rear wheel steer. If you take a look at the actual wheels, I don't think there are any rams on those back wheels to enable. No, there isn't. You do not have rear wheel steer on this machine, and I really don't like that it doesn't have that. You press Control B. Nope. Control Y, which is, this is a few of the options, and it's just Y for the changeover. So yes, unfortunately, this one does not have an option for the rear wheel steer, and that is something that I don't particularly like. I love having a rear wheel steer option on any of the vehicles that we use, and for that reason, I really like the Horsch one. The Horsch one does have rear wheel steer on it, and it would be one that I would like to maybe upgrade to later on, perhaps. We'll have to sort of think about that. But we're not going to worry about that today. We're going to just bring this one round, and we're going to park this one up in our shed. Now, to start with, we've got our 160 cows in there that we can use. There is a small field here that we can use as well. Now, as we are in South America, we could park a lot of stuff outside if we wanted to. I'm seriously considering using this area here to put another shed down. Rather than using it as grass for the cows, we can use this area over here as grass for the cows, and we'll plow it up. That could be one of the first things we do, is we get a plow of some sort and we plow this one here, and then we use the cows. That can sort of feed the cows grass. It's quite uneven. I don't really want to crop this one, but if I was to plow it and then plant it with grass, we could do it like that. That, I think, would be quite realistic. And then we've got a nice flat area here that we can place a couple of extra sheds down on, and I think those would be pretty good. But I'm not going to get those today. I'm not going to get those this week. I will wait until next week. So I want some opinions on that. Do you think we should get an extra shed to go in there? If we do, I'm thinking, I actually haven't got very many of the mods active at the moment. I normally have a huge number of mods in my folder, but I don't really have any of them going at the moment. But we wouldn't go, I don't think we'd go for the large vehicle shelter. There is another barn that is quite high, it's quite tall, and I think that is the one that I would like to put here. I think that would be really good. This vehicle shelter, I mean, it's okay, but it's not really sort of doing it for me. Why can't it be placed here? Is it just not going to let us place a large shed down? It's not going to let us put any placeable here on this grass. Oh, I see. It's because it's too close over this way. So there's something here that is stopping it from... Oh, hang on. Let me just see a second. Let's just go here, and we'll go... Let's just reset that one there. If I reset, yes. Okay, back. Where's the reset point? Oh. I thought maybe it was because it was the reset point, but no, it's not the reset point. Where is the reset point? That's not round here. It's not out the front here. There's another area that I thought that we could plow up as part of the series and turn it into grass. So where is the reset point? We can soon find out. Let's enter in. Oh, it resets back the shop. That's a little bit inconvenient. Okay, let's take this one back over to the farm, and we'll put it... Well, I don't want to drop it right into the cow, so we'll drop it over here onto this grass for a second. And we can move this one over. Start you up. So we've got this one here. This is going to be our main spraying machine. This is the one that we're going to use. We've got Horsch stuff is available if we want to, but I have stated previously that we will prioritize anything from the this DLC, the Platinum expansion, and then second shout gets John Deere. It'll be this and then John Deere, is because I did do a vote and John Deere did win. I don't normally use John Deere. I've already got one John Deere mod installed on here already. It's that one there, the 7030 Premium. This is a 203 horsepower tractor. The Stara, if you take a look at that, the maximum on the Stara is 180. And we've got these two Challengers from the Horsch mod. I don't think we'll use Challengers on this map. That's a 411 horsepower, and this one here can go all the way up to nearly 600 horsepower. This John Deere here, I can add front linkage onto it, which I would. I don't want the front loader attachment. The biggest engine, I can go up to 209 horsepower, 7530. Standards, rear twins, narrows. Yeah, we go standards on. So I'm going to buy that one. We're going to start off with this one. This is a medium-sized tractor. We don't have any large John Deere tractors yet, but we will do. So we'll... right, that one there... It's a bit laggy, that one is, when he's jumping in. But yeah, I'm thinking that this tractor here will be the one that we use for ploughing, the 180, because the other one that we've got is a 150. So let me make the map bigger, and then we'll teleport this one up towards the farm a minute. There we go. Start that one up. And this one can go... What I said in the time-lapse was that they would run the policy of machinery not really being visible from the house. And I think that is an excellent one to do. So we're going to try and do that with this series. When you're in-house, when you're relaxing in your villa over there, you're not going to want to be able to see loads of machinery all over the place. So I'm going to make sure that we can't actually do that. We won't be able to see machinery around the map. So let's just take this tractor here, and... we've got some sugarcane there in storage. We did have the other sugarcane harvester here. However, we don't need to worry about that one anymore because we won't be using it. So we've got that one back here. We've got this lorry. And there was a couple of other bits that I wanted to look at from this whole mod. And we've got these trailers. I used those trailers there, the Massey Ferguson ones in the time-lapse, and we've sort of looked at the other bits from there, but there are some other bits and pieces in this thing as well. So we've got the sprayer there, which is that one, and then what else did we have? There was a couple of other bits I wanted to see. We've got sewing machines, that's the ones, and we've got a couple of these. We've got these, so there's the Horsch ones over there. And I got the Kuhn DLC as well, but we've got that. We've got one of those back at the shed, and then we've got this one here. This is a huge, great big planter, so I'm just going to buy this one so we can take a look at it a second, and we'll just get it onto the John Deere and take a quick look at that. Bring this. I tell you what, let's just teleport this one back up to the farm. So we've got this sugarcane harvester. We will have a much better look at the sugarcane harvester next week, because that is going to be the first job that we actually do. Now, it is quite slow. I have noticed it is quite slow. So I'm going to ask you now, and I'll probably ask you again tomorrow if I remember. Do you think we should try to run 2 sugarcane harvesters? I actually don't think we're going to be able to do that unless I can use Follow Me or something like that alongside a sugarcane harvester. I don't think it's going to be possible really to run 2 at once. I think it's just going to be too much of a headache to try to get them. But it could be an interesting exercise. It really could. It could be, yeah. It certainly would be difficult. There is one way I think that we can do it, and that is you can't hitch those trailers over there. You can't hitch those onto the back of the sugarcane harvester. But you can put normal tippers onto the back of the sugarcane harvester. So we could run one with hired help. See, that one won't actually hitch on. But if I get another tipper, if I get a regular tipper, and I don't want a small one, I would say we would go for maybe the AgroLiner. I don't think that one's too high. The others are too big. I think those are too big and bulky. And actually, I think we'll go for that one. It'll turn better using that one. So we'll go for that one there, and I'll go with the main color. We'll just stick with that one, actually. No, let's go for a darker green. Let's go for the dark green. And we will buy that one a second, and we just see this here. Just back out of there. Now, I think that that one should be able to go on the back of this machine. And if it does, that's excellent, because it means that it can turn on the headlands. I'm hoping there. That one will go on there, and it will actually follow, the machine itself will follow the trailer. If I take that one off, what it does is when it gets to the end of the row, it literally will spin on the spot like this, and that's going to be the difficult bit with running the trailer and the hired help. And I did notice, I did attempt to do this when I was doing the time-lapse to see if it would be possible. I didn't actually do it in the time-lapse, I did it when I was testing beforehand. It didn't work, so I decided against doing it ultimately. But if I go back onto the sugarcane harvester and I unfold and I do pipe out like that, it will put the pipe over the trailer, and it will hover the pipe over the trailer the whole time. And then you've got that thing on the top, you see where it's swiveling round? What that thing does is that's blowing the excess sort of chaff and everything away from where the trailer is off to the side. And then you've got the one on the back here as well. That also blows a load of excess chaff. Now, if you're driving alongside the machine and the spout is out to the side, it puts it directly behind. And if you've got the trailer right behind, it'll do it like that. So this one can come along this way. And I'm hoping that when it gets to the end of a row, using this AgriLiner trailer, it will be able to turn almost on the spot, which means that we could possibly run 2 trailers at once. It would go like that to turn on the spot. Except that when it gets to that point after it's turned, the trailer is not in the right position for it to be able to tip because the spout is not right. So we may not be able to do this. I would like to, but it might not work. We'll see. At the moment, it's possible. It's definitely a possibility. So we'll take this one back. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to buy a second one just yet. But what I will do is I will seriously consider... let me just see what it's going to do here. No, I want to do that. Right. If I fold it up like that and I go spout in, that will put the spout directly behind, and it will stay like that. So I'm going to park this one up along here, and I want your comments today. Do you think we should try to run 2 sugarcane harvesters? Now, if you've seen the time lapse, you will realize that it takes a very long time to do any sugarcane harvesting. It takes ages to sugarcane harvest, and we've got quite a big field that we're planting over here now. We've got quite a lot of land. It's far, far bigger than the one that I had previously, because I wanted the challenge. I wanted to do a lot of sugarcane. This is primarily a sugarcane plantation. Now, I don't think we should do more than this one field, because with a Let's Play, it's going to be extremely dull trying to harvest all of this anyway. So we're only going to do some of it. And these are actually carrying on quite nicely. They're doing an excellent job. But if we've got 2 of these running, I don't want to run a small one on... I don't want to do a tractor-drawn one, although that might be another option. We could always, maybe consider that. Keeping the old sugarcane harvester and running that on a tractor with the hired help, as well as running this. So we can run this one with those bigger machines, with those big trailers. We've got these trailers here. So we could run these trailers being pulled on a tractor, running alongside the sugarcane harvester. And then we've got a tractor pulling the small sugarcane harvester with that trailed trailer. Now these here, what you do is you actually use the mouse to tip these out. And you pull the mouse down like that, and that lifts it right up in the air, and then you do sideways, and it tips out like that. And that actually tips into the trailers beside us back there. That will actually tip up into those trailers over there. Now those are sugarcane trailers, and I think that's pretty much all they hold. If we go into sugarcane harvesting over here, take a look at these. These take sugarcane, straw, silage, wood chips, chaff, grass, and hay. They don't take anything else, because those rams are not going to be able to take you. I mean, grain, you wouldn't put grain in those anyway, because it's a mesh grill, so the grain would just fall through, so it wouldn't be realistic. Silage surprises me. I would have thought that might be too heavy for silage. These here are just the same, so you can't put root crops in these either. Few people have expressed a little bit of dismay at that, but you've got to remember, root crops are very, very heavy compared to the other. I'm surprised that silage would go in here. Made silage, because that's very heavy as well. It's compacted. By the time it's fermented, it's lost bulk. So it's a lot heavier for its volume. Same as potatoes and sugar beet. So you wouldn't have potatoes and sugar beet in these trailers. You wouldn't be able to tip it out again. And those trailers work much the same way. So yeah, with these trailers, we could do silage using them. We could make silage using these trailers. We can do sugarcane in that, but we can't like carry grain and stuff like that. Just back these up. But we could... So these here, once you've got the sugarcane into these trailers, you can then put them alongside those trailers over there, and you tip them up like that. You sort of go right up close beside them, and you tip it up like that, and it tips straight into the trailer. So you've got transfer from one to the other. You don't have to put it on the ground and pick it up with a shovel. However, the other trailer, the one that if we were to do it using that AgriLiner trailer behind the other harvester, if we would do it like that, that trailer would need to be tipped onto the ground, which means we would then need to pick it up manually and place it elsewhere. So let me jump those 3 up there. And they are ready. So we got our first John Deere tractor. This one we can use for running these trailers. I don't know if we would normally run 2 trailers. We'll have to sort of see. I tried doing both during the time lapse, and I found it quite awkward trying to do 2 trailers in a row. I found it actually better to do one. I would say though that if you've got sugarcane out in the field and we were traveling like a bit of a distance, say back here, if we got sugarcane up there and we're traveling back here in order to empty out, and we keep the lorry down here, or the truck, however you want to call it, then this would be more feasible, because you would pick up one trailer and you would fill it up, and then you would drop it off, you pick up the second trailer, you'd fill it up, join the 2 together, run them down here, empty them both out, and then run them back up to the harvest again. So that would be a doable thing. You could certainly do that. So we're going to take these 2 and the John Deere. We're going to leave them on the John Deere for now. Well, I think we might get a front wake for that John Deere. I'm not quite sure yet. And we're going to park these over here. This is going to be sort of a machinery storage area. It's hidden behind a bin, so you can't see it from the house. And I'm sort of thinking that machinery storage can happen out here without too much problem. I don't really want to use the area of flat grass over here for machinery storage. I think it's a waste of this valuable space. Although maybe this piece up here we could use for machinery storage, because it is nice and flat, so it would make life a little bit easier. We'll see. So that's sort of to be debated. So we've got our sugarcane harvester up here, and we've got trailer options at the moment. We will decide at the beginning of next week, before we actually start the full Let's Play. I will see your comments, and I'll sort of I'll either have it bought and ready before we start the proper realistic gameplay next week, or if we're just going to run one. We'll play that one by ear. The reason I was sort of thinking about maybe the tractor-drawn one, but I am still reluctant to do that, and the main reason being, when you're using hired help on this, it goes up one side, but when it comes back down the other way, it actually will drive right in the crop so that it can have it off to one side, the same as it does with the side-mounted mowers. And that I don't particularly like, which means that one we would have to pretty much drive manually or go around in a circle or something like that. It could be quite awkward. So I'm thinking that 2 of these would be a better option. But maybe we could do a little bit with that one just to take a look at it, so we can sort of say that we've still got it, and we're going to sort of use it one last time before we sell it, because we're up in the process of upgrading the farm. So that's those bits done. The sugarcane is nearly planted in that field, so we can nearly get going with that. This one next. Oh, I did want to just take a look at that seed drill, so let's get another tractor here a minute. What have we got in the way of tractors? And you know what? Let's just take a quick look at this Challenger here. We will upgrade it completely. We'll sell this one again as soon as we're done with this, because we're going to sell that great big seed drill as well, because that's not one that I want to use at the moment. So let's jump into you and whiz over, and we'll take a look at this big seed drill. I really like the look of this big seed drill. Oh, there is one thing that I want to do also with the cultivator, because it does say about being able to plow. Now, we've got these options here. So we've got big Horsch cultivators here. Just says it prepares the ground for the next sowing. But if you look at these, subsoiler prepares the ground for next sowing. It can be used instead of a plow. Additionally, this machine offers the possibility to seed directly. Now, I don't know why that one is saying it can seed directly. I'm not really sure what that's about, unless it is something to do with the Coon DLC, whether it can sort of tap into that as well. I don't really know. Or it can... That one's fertilizer. That one adds fertilizer. But how does this one work? This one is saying that it can add seed, So I don't really know if maybe that one hooks up with... So I'm going to... Actually, have I got one of these already, I think. Yeah. I got one of those back at the yard. So we'll take a look at that one back at the yard. And we'll just take this one here. Offers a possibility to seed directly. It can be used instead of a plow. So I don't know what that means. Oh, I see. Right. I'm with you. You can buy a seeder box to go on it. And we don't have a seeder box on the one back at the yard. So let me just take that one. And we'll get the seeder box. Standard. Actually, we're going to buy one as standard, and we're going to buy one with a seeder box and see if there's any sort of difference between the two of them. So go there. So first of all, let's just back up onto this one, and we'll take a look at this beastie here. This is a direct drill. It has no need for ploughing, although obviously it won't do it onto just normal grass. But I can just unfold this one here, and we can take a look at how it looks in the field. Okay, this one is actually quite impressive. I would guess as this one is undoing, you would want to sort of just back up a little bit to go easy on the hydraulic rams as it's reversing up. But we can lower that one down a minute, like that, and it covers the ground quite nicely. All of these coulters are numbered. This thing is fantastic, and you look at it there, and it follows the contours of the ground really well as well. I mean, I know that, well, if we make some of our own fields, we might be glad of that. We may be glad of the fact that it is following those contours. That is going to be quite handy. But this machine, yes, look at that. Look at the way that it's sort of dividing over as it goes over the lumps in the ground there. This thing is fantastic. Okay, I'm very impressed with this particular one. Oh, that's more of a test there, I think. With a really rough ground, and that is really following the contours of all the ground. It looks like this is... They've designed it with like a map like this in mind almost. So, you know, it does offer the possibility of going and ploughing up all kinds of rough ground and then seeding it after, because that is really following those contours and it's doing a beautiful job of it as well. I'm really impressed with that. That is something that I'm particularly pleased to see. Right, let's go to garage, and we'll actually... Yes, I do. I will sell those. So we want to go to that challenge. Well, first we'll go to that Stara there, and we'll sell that one. Excellent. And then I'm going to go to that Challenger. Actually, no, I'm not going to sell the Challenger just yet, am I? I'm going to go back to the shop, and we're going to grab the first... Oh, we're going to take a look at these cultivators. Now, it does add ploughed state, so I'm wondering if that means it will allow us to plough the field. Now, we've got a little tiny patch that we did a test on, and that is still just going to be a test patch. So this one here, if I back up onto this cultivator, we've got cultivator, lower cultivator with higher worker, select seed. So I can choose which seed we use with the standard seeds, and that's just got a seed box on the top. That would just go along, adds in the cultivator bit as it goes through. Open cover. Here we go. But does this one allow you to actually plough? Now, if you're pressing that, is changing the seed. Now, normally that's the button that you use to allow create field. So it might be that this one does not allow create field. So it does drop down, and we can do that. You know, there is a test actually that we can run. If we go to soil composition, these haven't been ploughed, and I realise that we're busy putting sugarcane in that field without having first ploughed it, which is a bit of a nuisance. It means we're not going to get our 10% bonus. So we might actually harvest that field to start with and then plant this field down here after we plough this field. I think that might be a better way of doing it. But what we're going to do first is we're going to take this one here. Okay, I pressed the wrong button there. We are going to take this one here, and we are going to teleport it over to field 14, and we're going to run a very, very small test right here to see what this does. See if it actually... I'm just going to lower it down. I'm not going to do any seeding. All I want to do is I want to do that across there, and then I want to look at the map and see if it's removed the ploughed state. No. That has not removed the ploughed state. So I don't know if it's to do with that, if it's because we've got the seed drill option on there, but we'll see. There's another, we can do this quite easily. We can just go to here, we can go garage, and we'll get rid of the first one of those. Which one is it? It's going to be that one because it's got the extra box on it, so we'll sell that one. Okay. And then we will teleport back down to the shop. Actually, I can just reset that one. So if I go and click on that one there and then reset, like that, and we can go down here and we can grab the next one. I don't think that you can allow create fields with this one either, but I'm hoping that this one will give us the option to add the plowed state to the field. So let's take this, and what do we got? So the options on here are not including, we've got hide HUD, change dirt amount. No, I don't want to do those. Higher worker, detach lower cultivator. Doesn't have an option. If I press... Actually, I need to just go over to... We've got that one little patch over here that we did our test run on, and we'll go back to that patch again and see if we can do another... We'll do another little test run with the cultivator and see if it does actually allow us to create fields. So let me lower that one into the ground. Right, at the moment, that's not doing anything. And if I lift that one up, and I press the button that you normally press for allow create fields. Right, that does not allow create fields, so that's not letting us do that. So next option is we will teleport this one over to the field again, over to field 14, and we will see if this does actually allow us to plow the field. And go like that. So we've got higher worker, lower the cultivator. That's pretty much the only options that we're getting on this, which is a little bit of a shame. So I'm just going to lower that one in and do a little section. And then we can take a look at the map and we can see if it's done anything. No, that has still got the plowed state on... Oh, has it? Has that still got the plowed state? Let me go a little bit bigger a minute. We'll do a longer line. It should show up. If it's going to show up, it should show up on there without any problem. No, it's definitely not showing up there. So we don't have a plowed state there. And if I press Y, do that again, is it going to add... I don't think it's going to add a plowed state at all. I think that this is actually... Either the machine itself is not working as intended, or there is an error with the text or something. I'm not quite sure what at the moment. If I go Control Y, let's see if that does anything. It may be that it's not showing the option up properly, and it should actually do these things. So we'll come back up through again, and still... Oh, hang on. Why is that change color there? Is that going now to actually needs plowing? We go there. That's cultivate. It's already got cultivated, but it's not got plowed. Is that now going to a plowed state? Yeah. Oh, actually, it is. That's actually working. It's actually adding a plowed state into the field. It just wasn't showing up previously. So let me just go round in a little bit of a circle like this, and we do it like this. So you can't create fields with this, but you can do the get the plowed state on the field by the look of it. So it is actually working as it's supposed to be, and you've got the option to seed with this thing as well. Let's zoom right in. Yes, it is. It's actually working. It's removing... That is fantastic. Okay, that is really, really cool. I am so pleased that that is actually working as intended. I'm really, really delighted with that. And does that thing fold up? It doesn't actually fold up. It stays at that width. It's quite a wide cultivator, to be fair. So I'm wondering if we should use this one rather than the smaller one. We do have a smaller one at the moment. I don't want to... I do want to be able to have a lot of machines, but I do want at the same time to sort of wait a little while for some of the stuff to be able to upgrade to it later on. So we're kind of... It's a mixture of both. So if we just look here a minute, we've got this cultivator here. Now I don't know, is that one a direct drill or not? Let's just double check that very, very quickly. Sewing machine down here. That one is a direct drill. So we've got a direct drill there, and we've also got the small cultivator here. This one, we can add a tank to it if we want to, but we don't need to because we've already got the other one. So, I mean, we could do that later. So now we've got this one here just as a cultivator as well. I'm thinking that what we'll actually do is we will sell this one. We'll get rid of that one again, and... If we're going... Oh, 5-in-1. Subsoiler prepares fields for next sowing. Can be used instead of a plow. Fertilizer spreaders improve the harvest of field. So we can do that one. And that one's got the fertilizer. It does everything all at once. And it does the ploughing state as well. So these three do the ploughing state. And that one can do fertilizer. And these two can do seed. And then obviously the actual seeder itself, I think this one here will do fertilizer and seed. So you can sort of do the combinations. We've got various different options here for all kinds of things. And that, I think, is absolutely fantastic. So I'm thinking that we will sell the big one for now. We'll keep this smaller one here. This is the one that we will run. And then we will also take it. We'll get rid of this one here. But I'm thinking that maybe we'll buy one of the other cultivators, the one with the fertilizer on it. So that one will add the plowed state as well. So we've got a small one here that will do plowing. And we can have a bigger one as well that will do plowing. And those will add the plowed stake to the fields, because this is a lot more realistic, especially, I know for the States and for a lot of places now, you don't use a deep plow like this one over here. This is something that's not done anymore. But using something like this would be done, so having this add the plowed stake to the field would be a lot more realistic. So we could use that, and we could use the one that does the fertilizer as well, this one here. And those could sort of be our cultivators for now, and then maybe we'll get that one later on if we want to. So that's kind of what I'm edging towards at the moment. I will think about this a little more between now and next episode, but for now we just want to sell. Actually, we're just going to sell both of those because we've taken a look at them, we've seen how they work. So we can sell that Stara there, and we will sell that Challenger there as well. Right, those are gone, and that's most of what we want to do today. Oh, there's one other thing that I'm going to want to do in a moment. We go back up. We'll check on the sugarcane planting. We'll just see how this is going. I'm not looking at very much of this because we're going to look at this in a lot more detail when we actually come to do sugarcane planting in our... towards the beginning. I don't know exactly when. Sugarcane harvest is going to be the first thing that we embark on when we get going on this map. Sugarcane planting, that will come a bit later on. So I'm thinking that maybe we'll harvest this field once, and then we will cultivate it all up, and we won't put sugarcane back here. What we'll do is we'll put sugarcane over in a smaller field, because it's such a big effort to do the sugarcane harvest. But we'll see. That can sort of be something for you guys to vote on later on in the series. For now, though, the other thing that I wanted to show you, I'll actually show you tomorrow, because we'll have a look at the Massey Ferguson sprayer at the same time. So I want to go and... Actually, oh yes, I want to get this one. So we'll get this one here, and I'm going to start getting this one hooked up, and then in tomorrow's episode, we can drive this one around a little bit, and you can take a good look at it. If you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.